Hi, I'm Alan08, and I'm going to be reviewing The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 13, Episode 8. Didn't do last episode because I didn't really get a chance to watch the whole thing. And it's like exhausting enough doing all of this, like, and jotting down notes so I can get a good idea of what's going on and what I can talk about if I should put my input. So, the only thing I can tell you about season 7, episode 7 was it was a continuation of Kyle's dinner party, and it's still going to be talked about in episode 8. And Anne-Marie was introduced, and people were asking questions about herself, and it was at this scene where I'm sorry to say this because I like Denise Richards, but I was very embarrassed for her. She was just and I had to remember that Denise did not partake in the THC induced meals. So I don't know if it was on Instagram or on a YouTube comment that someone implied that maybe Denise was drunk and that's why she was out of it. I think, okay, maybe she had a drink before she came there to maybe calm her nerves. So maybe that was it. But aside from all that, I was just really embarrassed for Denise of how out of it she was and how she was trying to get her words out to Erica about how she really felt about her and how Erica hurt her. Because after all, Dorit asked Denise if she missed everyone. So it was just really embarrassing. I was like, come on, Denise, you can do this. Just come right out and say it. Because Erica was just sitting there like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you trying to say? Like, what did I do? But I think deep down, Erica knew exactly what Denise was talking about. But I guess Erica did not want to think about it because, as she has said, like, it was 3 or so years ago. Like, I'm over it. I'm moving on. I'm focusing on the here and now. But at the same time, I can understand Denise still having a grudge with Erica because if someone accused you of doing something that you didn't do and they piled on you for it, even though they have no proof, like, how would you feel? Like, I'll probably still be upset, or I probably would want anything to do with that person ever again. And I still would feel a bit of some way about it. But anyways, on to, and then after that, some people were laughing at her, and I just felt, it was just like a cringe-worthy moment. All right, on to episode 8. And we begin with Kyle and Mauricio. Mauricio asked Kyle how the THC-themed dinner went. And Kyle said it was a disaster, obviously, because once again, Kyle and Sutton had their fight. And the fight got so heated because I think one of the reasons was that Sutton mentioned that sister's comment, like, you already lost 2 sisters, do you want to lose another one? And then there was the whole thing about the whole rumors about Kyle and Mauricio's marriage troubles and alleged cheating going on. And Sutton kept pushing for Kyle to address to the group, what's going on with her and her marriage. And I was just, when I saw her annoyance about that and she was complaining about it, and I was thinking, I wonder if there was another housewife that faced this much scrutiny from the group. And again, I thought of Denise Richards. And Kyle, I don't know if she means to be gaslighting anybody, much less the viewers that watch, but does she really think that, like, I don't know if she means to gaslight anybody into thinking that she hasn't done anything wrong or hasn't put anybody under any scrutiny. But we're not, like, don't assault our intelligence. Please don't. And Kyle complains that now everybody thinks something now. Yeah, the same way people thought something about Denise having that alleged affair with Brandy, right? You didn't hesitate to believe that. And all because you said that Brandy wasn't a liar when seasons ago you were disgusted with Brandy and you were talking about how much she lied. But when Brandy brought this up about Denise, like, oh, Brandy doesn't lie. I've never known her to lie. Yeah, sure. And it's not like there's somebody that wasn't already speculating or wondering what was going on. Your good friend Dorit asked you episodes ago of what's going on with you, because even she realized there have been some changes and that you two don't hang out like you used to anymore. So why all the blame on Sutton? And Mauricio reminds Kyle that, yeah, like she told Sutton to F off, and she had every right to, because what Sutton did was mean. Okay. And Kyle wonders why anyone would attack others about their marriage, which is very much a joke. Because really, like, lack of self-awareness much. And aren't you always the one wanting others to be honest about what's going on in their life? But now it's your turn, it's a completely different thing, and everybody's ganging up on you? Give me a break. Oh, and if we want to talk about attacking somebody over something, you did that with Sutton most of last season, and you're doing it this season. And don't even get me started on season 2 when you first met Brandy. So let's not go there with being delusional. And over at Sutton's store, Sutton is at the store double checking everything to prepare for the celebration party, and because her store has been open and successful for 4 years now, and I have to say kudos to you, Sutton. And Sutton says she loves that she's running her own business and that she didn't have to take anyone's money to do it. Not sure if it was a dig at certain housewives, but that's what she said. The producer asked Sutton if she had used any of her ex-husband's spousal support to help run her business, and she says, of course. Well, wouldn't that be the same thing as taking someone's money, though? Just a question. Sutton is now FaceTiming with Crystal. Crystal asks Sutton how she's feeling about her party going on the next day, and if all the ladies are still invited. Mainly if she wants Kyle to attend. Sutton says that she honestly does not want Kyle to bother coming if it's only going to be a fight between the two of them. And I agree. So in that case, maybe you should just call Kyle and tell her that you're just uninviting her because of the past fights that have been going on. And it's been really sour between them anyway. So why bring the negativity to the party? And Sutton says she's employing people for the party, and this is her business that we're talking about here. Therefore, it's important to her for things to run smoothly. So yeah, you definitely shouldn't invite somebody that you're not on good terms with, because what would be the point? And Sutton goes on to say that it's ridiculous to hear Kyle making accusations about her drinking. And it was also just as devastating to find out from Crystal that Doris also joined in on speculating and making fun of her for it. And I just have to say, like, seeing them talk, I'm honestly glad that Sutton has Crystal in her corner, aside from Garcelle, because these two have come a long way since season 11 when they started off on the wrong foot, and look where they are now. Like, Crystal is there to have her back and to tell her what Dorit and Kyle were saying about her. So it's nice to see Crystal being a friend to Sutton, honestly. Let's see. I mean, not only is Sutton worried about her business being ruined, but like accusations about her drinking could be used as I can't think of the word. Like her ex-husband can use that as a reason to take James, her son, away from her. And moving on to Kyle's house, Kyle has her therapist and life coach Jamie over. And once they get settled, James begins with saying that he's known Kyle for a long time to know that she could be obsessive and very anxious, or a bit anxious. And it's obvious that she's dealing with something that's very difficult and triggering to her. Kyle gets emotional, recapping the rough past year, dealing with her family, mainly her older sister Kathy, and we saw some of it play out on camera last year. And there's footage of an emotional conversation between Kyle and Kathy at her house, like before a certain ousted housewife came over to stir things up. And because of that, once again, Kyle and Kathy are not speaking to each other. Well, yeah, after everything you let that ousted housewife do to cause a rift, what did you expect would happen? And there seems to have been a problem or track record of Kyle not speaking to Kathy for a great length of time. And this whole thing started when Mauricio, who used to work for Kathy's husband Rick in real estate, broke off on his own to create the agency. And from there, Mauricio took most of Rick's clients as his own. And Kathy never got over that. And that's why she doesn't really care too much for Mauricio. And Kyle notes that there was never any congratulations for that success, or for when Kyle wrote her book, because Kathy assumed something that it wasn't. Another issue is when Kyle opened her own store, and with her TV show American Woman that was canceled after one or two seasons. Maybe it was just after one season or some episodes. And the show American Woman was a show loosely based on Kyle's perspective of growing up with their mother during the late 1970s. Apparently, Kyle was none too happy with the show because of how Kyle felt she put their mother in a bad light. And it got so bad that Kathy had her lawyer write a letter to Kyle telling her not to use Kathy or the rest of their family in her show. And Jamie tells Kyle that, while she loves her family, it should not be on their terms and not when she's always in trouble with them. And Jamie asks what will it take for Kyle to open herself up to Kathy and to let her back in. Kyle says people tell her that she has to, do what she can to make up with Kathy or to get along with her because they are family. And Jamie says that there should not be any obligatory relationships if it's unhealthy, especially if it's family. And and it's sad for me to say this, but being family doesn't keep anybody from being human. Like, we're all imperfect beings. Like, and if there's just some things that you cannot get past, or you just can't get along for whatever reason, then it's best that you don't speak to the person or be around the person. Just love them from afar. It's sad that you have to treat them like you would a stranger or anybody that's not family, but sometimes that's just how it is. If it means taking care of your own mental health. Because I've heard too many stories about people wanting to cut off toxic family members or just staying away estranged. So that's how it is sometimes. And Kyle also opens up about her very good friend from way back when that committed suicide. And it really affected her. And Jamie just tells Kyle to know what exactly that represents for her and what she needs, which is a safe space. And Kyle says that she has tried surrounding herself around people that she loves and who loves her back. And she didn't feel like she got that kind of support from her husband. And that would probably explain why she's drifting apart from him mentally and emotionally. And that's probably why she's found a friend in Morgan. And Kyle feels that losing her friend to suicide and things falling apart with her sister Kathy are just major losses for her that she cannot take. And like I said, with Mauricio, what kept her safe was her marriage to him, but she's feeling like that's starting to fall apart. And Jamie tells us it's important for her to stand firm in the fact that any relationship filled with drama and judgment is not the place for her. Next thing with Garcelle, her son Jade, and his girlfriend Ashlyn. Once again, they're going to a restaurant, and this time Garcelle's dealing with Jade. And Garcelle acknowledges the fact that she's raising twins that are very different from each other. As I said in the episode where Garcelle was having a dinner date with Jax. And with Jade, Garcelle doesn't feel mentally prepared for Jade growing up and having a girlfriend. And then again, what parent wouldn't feel that way? And Garcelle says it's very sweet for Jade to like somebody aside from her a lot. And like I said, she acknowledges the difference between twins and that she's worried less about Jax because he has shown her how emotionally and mentally mature he is, even at 15 years old. Whereas Jade has basketball, his girlfriend, his friends, and his shoes on his mind. And because Jade has a girlfriend, Garcelle is worried about that because she doesn't want him to get too serious to the point where they start getting all intimate, and then there'll be a baby coming. And I get it, because you should have a chance to be a kid first before you should have a chance to be a kid before you can learn about all the ways of being an adult. Trust me, that whole having sex and all that other stuff will not be going anywhere. Let's see. Garcelle shares a funny story with Ashlyn about Jade, that he walked around the house with the phone, and that when Garcelle asked him if he wanted to watch a movie with her, he said that he can. He's on the phone with Ashlyn, but he thinks that she's asleep. Well, it's kind of funny and it's cute. And Ashlyn says, well, the next time you're on the phone with me and if I'm asleep, just leave the phone in the room and go watch the movie with his mother. Now, I don't know about the whole leaving his phone in the room while she's on the other end of it and she's sleeping. That's just weird. Like, if you're going to be sleeping, you're just going to have to tell Jade, you know what? I feel myself falling asleep. Let's continue this conversation another time. Because, like you said, like, what if you wake up and you find that I'm not there? Like, just continue the conversation another time. I just thought that was weird. But when Jade asks what if Ashley were to wake up, she says then she'll wake up. Okay. And then she has him pinky promise. Yeah, it's just weird. But Garcelle seems to like Ashlyn because she has manners. She's really sweet. She's got some spice and sass when it comes to Jade. And she doesn't hesitate to speak her mind. And Garcelle thinks Jade picked a really good girlfriend. And she's not thinking of being a grandmother anytime soon. Once again, like, I know that's right. Like, hey, you got time, okay? Don't do it right now. I think I would do the same with my kid. Like, hey, slow down there. Ashlyn Garcelle thanks them for coming to dinner with her, and Ashlyn thanks her for inviting them. And Garcelle reiterates Ashlyn's request to Jade to watch movies with his mother, which is her main takeaway from the dinner. Okay. On to Anne-Marie and her family. And looking at the size of her house and all the stuff in it and outside of it, I can see why she's got a lot of things going on with her. Like, have you seen the size of that house? My goodness. There's a whole lot of rooms and a lot of things there. And while Anne-Marie admits that her job as a mother is a tough one, she wouldn't trade it for anything else. And I can get with that. She says that she and Marcellus have been married for 9 years. And apparently there have been a lot of women after him from day one, moment one. And check out the irony, because like now he's facing a lawsuit after one of the women came forward and accused him of rape back in, I think it was, what, 1994 or somewhere. So, yeah, I wonder how Anne-Marie's dealing with that. And what's interesting is that, well, okay, that's later. Anne-Marie says that Marcellus told her that the night that they met, he would make her his wife. I wonder if that was all he told her. Like, I guess the whole raping someone allegedly slipped his mind. Maybe he was trying to get past that. I don't know. We'll see how that whole lawsuit thing plays out. And the next thing that she says, I have to say it bothered me because while not a 10 in looks as an athlete or in brains especially, yikes, Anne-Marie is a solid 8.5 at everything else, according to her husband. Okay. Fine prints, that Marcellus is, huh? On to Erica's house. Erica is FaceTiming with her mother, Renee, and she shares some great news with Renee, and she begins with her doing a book report in the 5th grade about a city, and she chose, of all cities that she chose, it's Las Vegas. And then from there, she told Renee that she signed a contract to do a Las Vegas residency. And it's 20 shows between September of 2023 to later on this year, to the end of this year. And Renee is very surprised, yet happy. And we all can see that Erica's obviously happy because she's right back in the game. And Erica also extends the invitation to Renee to come see her show on opening night. But before Erica could finish talking, Renee admitted that she was wondering if Erica would invite her out to come see the show. And Erica, for some reason, expresses a slight annoyance. I still don't understand why, but Renee acknowledges that while Erica has talent, perseverance is something she should work on having. And Renee says that Erica needed the residency and she deserves it. And why do I get the feeling that if Renee comes out, it'll just be another slight problem for Erica, and she won't be able to deal with it? Because if you remember, the last time Renee was over at Erica's house, Erica admitted to being extremely annoyed with her after a day or two, and then that's when she wants her out of there. So I don't know how it's gonna pan out this time around if Renee should come and see her perform in Las Vegas. Now, preparations for Sutton's celebration party is underway, and Sutton is doing last minute, doing a run through of checks to make sure everything is set and going according to plan. And then there's a montage of the ladies getting ready to go. As Kyle is preparing, she's FaceTiming with Morgan, and via confessional, Kyle confesses that her relationship with Morgan is very different from the kind that she has with her other friends. And it's mainly because Morgan is always teasing her, and whenever Kyle is with Morgan, she expects to get roasted. I've heard many people speculating that it's more than just a friendship between Kyle and Morgan, and they're really just seeing each other intimately on the side. So, but we don't know that for sure exactly until she comes out with it. Let's see. Kyle admits to Morgan that she's not looking forward to going to Sutton's party because of the fights that she's had with her. Then don't go. Call up Sutton. You should have called up Sutton right now and say, hey, I'm sorry, I'm not willing to go to this party because the last time that we went to a party, like the last few times that we've seen each other, we've always ended up shouting and screaming at each other, so I'm not willing to go through that again. That's what she should have said, but she decided to dress up and attend anyway, and with her sister Kim, of all people. But I'm getting ahead of myself. And Kyle tells Morgan about the last fight she had with Sutton at her THC-themed party. And considering the different ring that she was spotted wearing. And then Kyle sarcastically wonders if the necklace that she's wearing will start more rumors about her. Why did you even bother going to the party anyway? Okay, and now we're at the celebration of Sutton's store. Anne-Marie and Erica greet each other and talk a little bit about the dinner party, which I'm tired of hearing about. Dorit says that Sutton gave her the heads up that only 80 people will be in attendance. That should be a load off her mind. Dorit's another one that's like, why did you even bother coming out? And why are you talking about this? And, since there's 80 people going to be at this party, this gives her a chance to prepare herself of what she's going into. Okay, if she means like possible drama is going to happen between some of the ladies, then yeah, I can see that. But other than that, just chill out. And Garcelle is obviously happy for her Sutton's success, because that's what friends do. She says that when she first met Sutton told her that she has not worked in 17 years. And from there, Garcelle thought, I got nothing in common with this bitch. Like, damn. But she's glad that, she's glad to see that Sutton is doing her own thing, has her own business now, and she's proud of her for that. Crystal asks if Sutton has spoken to Kyle at all. And while we're on the subject of Kyle, here she is in a van along with her sister. They're on their way there to the party. And Kyle says that this is a chance to show Sutton that she has not lost two sisters, and she's just doing it to stick it to Sutton. Real mature. Anne-Marie asks, we get a little bit of Anne-Marie asking Garcelle how her dating life is going. And Garcelle answers that she's slowly getting back into the game, and she wants somebody who has the same caliber as she does. The ladies are surprised yet happy to see Kim arrive along with Kyle. And Sutton is none too happy to see that Kyle brought Kim there, because she sees straight through Kyle's game, or calculating ways. Like, it didn't take a scientist to see that Kyle was only bringing Kim there to prove a point. Like, even I saw that. Kim and Sutton greet each other. Kim congratulates Sutton on her 4 years of success with their store. And it kind of bothers me to see Kyle and Sutton greeting each other the way that they are, because there's obviously tension between them, so why pretend like things are cool like that? Sutton introduces Kim and Kyle to Kimberly Brooks, who is a painter, and this gives Kim a chance to say, hey, I paint too. And she only does it for therapeutic purposes. Sutton notices the awkward tension between them, and that if crickets could have started chirping during that moment, that's how you know how awkward it is. Kyle's not comfortable, and Kyle's obviously not comfortable, yet she's here anyway. Again, why is she there? Sutton gives a speech that begins with thanking everybody for coming, and she especially loved that her girlfriends were there to share in this moment with her. And this is where it gets a little weird, because she continues on that certain labels get thrown around about women, and she hopes it's not women throwing said labels around about other women. Not sure why she had to say that, because number one, it was kind of long-winded and not articulated well, and two, you say that you don't want negative vibes or tensions at your party, yet what you just said wasn't really helping anything. And plus, the rest of your guests don't know what's going on or where this is coming from, so why bring that up? I'll bet that very line was meant to be be a dig at Kyle and Dorit. It's obvious to me. But then she concluded with, tonight she loves labels. Yeah, very awkward. Once again, she thanks everyone. And even Erica doesn't think Sutton gave the most eloquent speech. I can't debate that. Sutton asked for some water and a cocktail. And I don't know why, but she's telling Kyle, I'm going to go have a drink now, if that's okay with you. And it's her first one of the day. Son, why would you say that to her? If you want to have a drink, just have a drink. Forget what Kyle says or thinks. I mean, I think there's like a little similarity between Sutton and Kyle, that they worry about what other people say or think about them, and they shouldn't. Like whether it's having a drink, or not drinking, or having some cannabis-induced food. Like, if you want to do it, just do it. Fuck what everybody has to say or think. And Kyle acknowledges that Sutton is still upset over what she said to her at her house about having a drink, but she assures Sutton that she never said she had a drinking problem, except you did imply that. Kyle then tries to make her point that she herself had way too many drinks at Garcelle's party, like when Diana was there, and she laid hands on Sutton, like shaking her, all that. Like, this has nothing to do with you, Kyle. Like, this is like a really weird and obnoxious way of trying to make a point. And Sutton suggests that she and Kyle clarify the conversation over Kyle's implication of her drinking. And Kyle asks about clarifying the bomb that Sutton dropped at the latest dinner party. Okay, technically, Sutton was asking you if there was anything you wanted to clear up. Garcelle was the one who said your marriage. And it was Garcelle who called your gift, your different ring, a make-up gift. Sutton never said that. And again, the rumors of Kyle's marriage is brought up. Garcelle, Dorit, and Anne-Marie are joining them. And Kyle is addresses that Sutton never said anything about the ring being a makeup gift, and that it was Garcelle. And Garcelle quickly owned up to it, like, yeah, I said it. I did. You're right. Then Kyle asked why nobody would bother to guess that maybe it was an anniversary gift. And there was just a lot of talking over each other, so I couldn't really understand who was saying what. But what I got was like Garcelle thinks that Kyle just wants to bring attention to the different rings she wears. Just her opinion. Nothing to say about that. And Garcelle and Sutton are both breaking down the details of the different rings that Kyle wore in their confessionals. And then from there, I don't know how we got to talk about Sutton's drinking, but here we are. Dorit says that Kyle said she didn't know. Kyle was the one that didn't know if Sutton had a drink, if it was drinking, or if she was just mixing her drinking with pills. And Kyle says she never said mixing. She just said she didn't know if she was taking medication for the pain in her foot. It's just too much crap going on. Sutton says that the medicine is fine whether she has a drink with it or not, because it's not that kind of medicine. Okay. Dorit says that Sutton had spoken behind Kyle's marriage behind her back. Then the information came back to her through someone else. Someone was like, oh, you want to talk about talking behind somebody's back? Well, what about you, Dorit? You talked about me behind my back, and you talk about me behind my back. And I'm very disappointed to you since you're supposed to be my friend. And she should be. But then again, is Dorit really Sutton's friend though? I don't think so. And Dorit asked who has she been gossiping about Sutton to? And Sutton said, everybody. Sutton mentioned that Dorit was the one that said that Sutton had a drinking problem, which is not true, and Crystal told her about it. Dorit says the only conversation she had was when Crystal, Kyle, and herself was at Kyle's house. So you admit that there was a conversation? Or you admit that you implied something? Dorit says she's going to figure things out with Crystal, and Dorit says in her confession that Crystal barely speaks up, but now she's being the carrier pigeon. Kyle says she wants to fix things up with Sutton. Yeah, right. I thought you weren't comfortable being at the party. And she said she wasn't looking forward to going to the celebration at all, so which one is it? Are you not comfortable around her, or do you actually want to be friends with her? Make up your mind. And Sutton and Kyle apologize to each other. I don't even know why Sutton is apologizing, but whatever. And while Sutton acknowledges that she and Kyle apologize to each other, she's wondering if she can really move forward with Kyle. If you're wondering if you have to move forward with Kyle, then maybe it's best that you don't. Let's see. I forgot. Garcelle asked Erica how it felt being at Kyle's dinner party with Denise there, and Erica says it was weird because Denise went off on her for no reason. But was it really for no reason? You know why. You have some idea of why Denise was still angry with you. She hasn't forgotten about how you along with the ousted housewife, treated her. And Garcelle couldn't help but wonder if Erica was going to go off on Denise like she has with other ladies. And when she saw that Erica didn't do that, she was just perplexed by that. Erica says that she just chose to move on and stay in the present moment. Plus, she was too high to realize what Denise was talking about anyway. And then we go on to Dorit having a talk with Crystal about why she's telling Sutton that she's going around telling everybody about Sutton, which is not what she did. And Crystal says, I never did that. And she was right. Crystal only told Sutton what Kyle and Dorit were saying about her. Yet here's Dorit trying to spin it like Crystal's running her mouth to other people about her. Crystal asked Erica if she ever told her that Dorit was talking about Sutton's drinking. And Dorit corrects it. I said, or Kyle said. Crystal makes it clear that both Kyle and Dorit said it. And Crystal realized that she's on the end of a Dorit interrogation. Dorit says Sutton is not hiding the fact that she likes to drink and insists that she said Sutton is a drinker. And it's just getting to a point where just Dorit's just babbling on and on and on. And you wonder why people make fun of you for talking so much. This is why people make fun of you or talk about you. And even Crystal's over it now. And Crystal just wants to clear the air saying, Sutton, Dorit was the one that said that Crystal told, okay, now I'm getting all confused because it's just so much crap. Okay. Crystal tells Sutton that Dorit said, Crystal told Sutton that it was only Dorit talking about Sutton's drinking. And Crystal only said that it was Dorit and Kyle. Crystal said that Dorit was agreeing with Kyle. Anne-Marie is trying to make Sutton think that she knows better than Sutton's own doctor. And I don't even know why Sutton is bothering to explain anything about your personal medical business with the group, especially to somebody that just got into the group. And that brings me to this point. Anne-Marie, you just got here. You don't know Sutton like that to be talking about her or discrediting her. And why are you bringing up Sutton's esophagus problem anyway? Nobody asked you. Just sit there and relax or look cute or whatever. And even Sutton snaps at Anne-Marie, you're not my doctor. And Erica jokingly suggests that maybe a blowjob will be the cause of Sutton's esophagus problem. And maybe that's the mystery of why Sutton can't get a second date. Here we go. Anyways, Sutton changes the subject and acknowledges the other people at the party and their success. Can we focus on the fact that there are people here and joining in on our success, please? Erica commends Sutton on owning a business when she doesn't have to, when she could just enjoy the spousal support or the money that she already has. Dorit is proud of Sutton and her business, yeah, right. And Kyle compares her lack of keeping the business open to Sutton going on 4 years and how that's a good thing. I guess that's supposed to be nice. Whatever. Those are my thoughts. Later.